9 years after Claire was thrown out of her family home, she had finally built a peaceful life. She had married Daniel, a black man her parents refused to accept. On her wedding day, her mother had told her to choose between Daniel and the family. Claire chose Daniel. Since then, her parents had never called. Together, Claire and Daniel worked hard, bought a small house, and built a life without their family's help. Then, one rainy evening, someone knocked on the door. Claire opened it and froze. Her mother stood outside. There was no hug, no apology. Her mother simply said, "You need to sign these papers, and you need to give us money." Claire stared at her. "After 9 years, that's all you have to say?" Her mother's face stayed cold. "The family is in serious trouble. You're the only person who can fix it." Claire refused. Her mother stepped closer. "If you refuse, you could lose much more than money." Claire felt a chill. "What are you talking about?" Her mother looked away. "There are things we never told you." Then she whispered, "Your grandmother left something behind for you." Claire's heart stopped. What did she leave? Her mother turned toward her car. "You'll find out when you see the papers." Then she drove away, leaving Claire with one terrifying question. What had her family been hiding for 9 years? Claire barely slept that night. The next morning, she opened the envelope her mother had left behind. Inside were old property papers, bank records, and a letter with her grandmother's name. Claire's hands trembled as she read it. Her grandmother had created a private trust before she died. Claire was the only beneficiary. The trust included a large piece of land and a valuable property. Claire stared at Daniel. "Why would Mom need me to sign anything?" Daniel looked through the papers. "Maybe she wants you to give up your rights." Claire felt sick. Then she noticed something strange. One document showed that the property had been used as security for a family business loan, but Claire had never agreed to it. Her signature appeared at the bottom. She immediately knew it was fake. "This isn't my signature." Daniel looked at her. Then someone forged it. Claire called the lawyer named in the documents. After a long silence, he said, "Claire, your grandmother warned me this might happen." Claire's heart raced. "What did she warn you about?" The lawyer lowered his voice. "She told me your father would eventually come for the trust." Claire froze. Her father? Then the lawyer added one more sentence. "And he isn't working alone." Claire met the lawyer that afternoon. He showed her another file from her grandmother's trust. Inside was a map of the old family property. "There is something your grandmother never told your parents," he said. Claire studied the map. A small room was marked behind the old farmhouse. "What is this?" "Your grandmother called it the archive room." Claire remembered that room. As a child, she had been forbidden to enter it. That evening, Claire and Daniel drove there. The farmhouse looked abandoned, but the back door was unlocked. Inside, Claire found the marked room. Behind an old cabinet was a small metal box. The key her mother had given her opened it. Inside were bank records and several letters. Claire read the first letter. Her grandmother had discovered that money was disappearing from the family business. The letters showed that Claire's father had secretly borrowed huge amounts of money. But one name appeared again and again. Michael Grant. He was her father's business partner. Claire remembered him from her childhood. Then she found one final letter. Her grandmother had written, "If they ever come for Claire's trust, she must know the truth. Her father did not act alone." Claire's hands went cold. Suddenly, they heard a car stop outside. Daniel looked through the window. A black SUV was parked near the farmhouse. Claire recognized it. Michael Grant had found them. Claire and Daniel quickly left the farmhouse through the back door. They drove for several minutes before stopping. Claire held the old letters tightly. Now she knew Michael was involved, but she still did not know what he had done. The next morning, Claire met the lawyer again. She showed him the letters. His face changed. "This is enough to start an investigation," he said. "But Claire, you need more." "More proof?" He nodded. Claire remembered the old records in the metal box. One document showed money had been moved from the family business into an unknown account. The account was opened by Michael. Then Claire found something even worse. A copy of the document that had supposedly given her parents control over her trust. The signature was fake, but the witness signature was real. Claire recognized the name immediately. It was Michael's. Suddenly, everything became clear. Michael had helped Claire's father create the false papers. But there was still one question. Why had Claire's mother come to warn her? That evening, her mother called. Her voice was shaking. "Claire, you found the documents, didn't you?" Claire stayed silent. Her mother whispered, "Then you need to know the truth before your father finds out." "What truth?" There was a long pause. Then her mother said, "Your father knows you have the original trust papers." The call suddenly ended. Claire stared at her phone. Someone had warned her, but someone else was already coming for the papers. Claire knew she could not wait any longer. She gave every document to her lawyer, including the forged trust papers and the records linking Michael to her father. Then she made one careful move. She told her mother that she was willing to sign the papers. Her mother immediately agreed to meet. Claire arrived with Daniel and secretly recorded the conversation. Her mother placed the documents on the table. "Once you sign, everything will be fixed," she said. Claire looked at her. "Why was my signature forged?" Her mother froze. For the first time, she had no answer. Then Claire played the recording of her father discussing the trust with Michael. Her mother covered her face. "I was scared," she whispered. "Your father threatened me too." Claire felt her anger disappear for a moment. "Then why did you let him do this?" Her mother began to cry. "Because I thought I could protect you by keeping quiet." Before Claire could respond, the door opened. Her father walked in. He looked at the papers on the table, then at Claire. His face went pale. "You found everything." Claire stood up. "No, I found enough." Her father stepped toward her. "You have no idea what you've started." Claire calmly smiled. "For the first time, Dad, I do." Claire looked directly at her father. For years, she had feared that moment. Now she felt strangely calm. Her lawyer had already sent the evidence to the bank and the court. The forged documents were being investigated, and Michael had no way to hide his role. Claire's father tried one final threat. "If you expose me, this family will be destroyed." Claire shook her head. "You destroyed it when you chose money over your daughter." Her mother began crying. She apologized for everything, for the wedding, for the silence, for coming back only when the family needed Claire. Claire listened, but she did not forget. The investigation later proved that Claire's trust had been used without permission. Her father and Michael were forced to repay the money and face legal consequences. Claire kept the property her grandmother had left her. She never used it to hurt her family. Instead, she and Daniel restored the old farmhouse and turned it into their own peaceful retreat. Months later, Claire received one final letter from her mother. It said only, "I finally understand what I lost." Claire folded the letter and put it away. She did not need revenge anymore. She had something better. A life her family could never control. 9 years earlier, they had disowned her. Now Claire realized they had unknowingly given her the freedom to build a life without them.